the Dawn Edens, the Mark Shays, like what will they do if you get a pope in who's like a return to like even a Benedict or something, you know?
Yeah. So first of all, their heads would explode. Second of all, their ultramontanism would disappear instantly.
Oh yeah.
And third of all, I think that they would lead a revolution and say he's an anti-pope and call for a brokered conclave or something along those lines. In other words, the split in the church already exists. They will actualize it if a real Catholic becomes the pope.
Okay, so let's work through that. That's a very because I have the same intuition that if you get a conservative in there, and I hate using that word conservative, but like if you got a real Catholic
an
pope,
actual Catholic pope,
like an actual Catholic pope in there, because I was talking to Cale Zeldin about this. Like, I think if you got an actual Catholic pope in there, the left would have to come up with a counter. Like, you'll get two claimants to the throne in a case like that.
But it's not going to happen. And look, metal fatigue is a real thing. Okay. If you take a car antenna and you wrench it to the left and then you wrench it to the right, after about 2 or 3 times, it's going to snap.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is the church, the faithful have been wrenched to the left. They've been wrenched to the right, and it's going back and forth in that metal fatigue. It's on the verge of snapping. The question is, which way is it going to break? I think that the church will always break to the right. She'll take the faithful with her, and it is the apostates who will leave. They have to.
So what does that look like?
You look through church history, like basically exactly what you said, Michael. You have the trads, or the staunchly conservative, and then you have the moderates, and then you have the progressives, and usually it's the so-called trads and the moderates working something out, and then the progressives breaking away as some sort of heresy or apostasy or something like that. So
okay, so what does that look like in action, right? So does that, like, when you're talking getting down to the bishops in the United States, does that look like Supich, Hollerick, and these guys all go with this other claimant? And then
not initially. No. So here's what I think would happen. Let's go ahead and play what if, right?
Well,
so what if, huh?
We're wargaming. Like, this is a war game. Like, are you just playing war games?
You bet. So what if we get a Pius the 13th or a Leo the 14th? Okay. A pope who truly upholds everything the church teaches and wants to suppress the enemies of the faith. You get that person, and it's going to be kind of a repeat initially of what happened when Pope Pius X put out his encyclical against modernists. Okay. That election is going to cause a sudden quieting of Supich, Tobin. They're going to play along for a little while, but it's not going to work because they've stirred up their support base so much that the support base is going to demand action. Now, Supich is already over age. He's going to be kicked to the curb. He's gone. Okay. Tobin's kind of kept his head down. He doesn't really speak out about things. He operates more behind the scenes. McElroy, I think he's going to be medically retired. He's gone. So you get these hardcore leftists, Hollerick, Marx,
the Germans.
Yeah, exactly. The Germans. You're going to have even some of the known, probably known Freemasons from Italy and France. They're going to be removed. At some point, you're going to have a mass exodus of all the leftists, Mark Shea, and I would actually say Mike Lewis.
Yeah.
I mean, he's nuts. He's lost his mind. So those individuals are going to march left right over the cliff with all the other lemmings. And they're going to take as many people as they can with them. It's almost like what happened in the Apocalypse 12. And there was a great battle in heaven. Michael and his angels fought with the dragon, and the dragon fought with his angels, and they prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. Now, what was it that Our Lady of Akita said? She said that the devil would infiltrate into the church in such a way that we will see bishops against bishops and cardinals against cardinals.
Now, we thought we've seen that already, but you think it's going to be way
But we
bigger.
haven't really. We haven't really. We've seen some
Murmurings.
arguing, we've seen some debating, but we haven't seen a real battle. And I think that battle is going to be over a massive schism. And I think that it's going to be about this papacy. I really, truly believe that.
I don't see how it's not. Like, I've talked about this on the show a few times, where it's like, even if you get a more conservative Benedict XVII, or I mean, I don't know about a JP3, but a Benedict XVII who just wants to even be more like of a contemplative man who just wants to dial back some of the insanity. I think that lurch left is going to be so furious at the lack of progression that they're going to do this. Like, I don't see how there's not a split. We're living in a materially schismatic church already. It just needs to be formalized, and I don't see how that doesn't come. I mean, you're dealing with, and I think Rob is right too, where it's going to be the conservatives and the trads are going to come to an understanding. What's going to be interesting to see is how the Pope splainers work out in this, because they seem like they were so on board with the Francis stuff that I don't know what they're going to do.
I think we'll see a split there. I think you'll see some who really were just trying to be loyal to the papacy, and some who were playing that angle but are really leftist.
Yes.